Michael Lewis was a bond salesman for Salomon Brothers before resigning to write nonfiction. He was the journalist that wrote Moneyball, but in Boomerang he focuses on the social aspects of the economy which lead to financial fallout in Iceland, Germany, Greece, and the United States. This book led us to question what similarities exist between the socio-economic conditions of Iceland and the US, and how do these characteristics contribute to the economic prosperity of those nations? In the late 1960s, Iceland transformed itself by privatizing the fishing industry.
Line is mostly used to catch cod, haddock, catfish, ling, and tusk.
Við erum með beitningavélar borð í skipunum. Þannig að það gerir okkur kleift að skipstjórarnir velja bestu fiskimið hverju sinni út frá þeim kröfum sem gerðar eru til þeirra til þess að fiska. Og kröfurnar byggjast á kröfumarkaðarins, þannig að skipstjórarnir fá beint í æð það sem markaðurinn vill. Ég held að fyrir okkur eins og allan íslenska sjávarútveg þá skiptir mjög.
After the rise of the fishing industry in Iceland, prominent fishermen developed monopolies over the fishing markets. All of a sudden, there was an influx of cash, and this added revenue stream led to many risky and unevaluated investments. An emerging group of young Icelandic investors created fake capital by investing among themselves, which led to overinflated prices and a shaky backbone for the economy in Iceland. Investment bankers were buying marked up assets at inflated prices, which led to a false sense of security. In fact, by 2006, the average Icelandic family was 3 times richer than they were in 2003.
Suddenly, in a country where you had never seen rich people, we had people who were making $1 million a month.
And suddenly, for the first time in 1,000 years, Icelanders didn't need to chase cod to make money. They could make money with borrowed money. And boy, could they make a lot of money.
Iceland was now number 1 in the Human Development Index and had big banks and investors acting like the United States Wall Street bankers. However, due to missing government involvement and corrupt government officials, Iceland developed a bad central bank policy with low interest rates and a lack of regulation. The social characteristics that the new investment bankers were exhibiting began to have serious effects. In 2008, the Icelandic krona began to experience hyperinflation. The krona declined more than 35% against the United States dollar from January to September 2008. Government officials raised interest rates in an attempt to slow down inflation, which led to an increased dependency on foreign investments.
While they could afford all sorts of foreign goodies, prices at home were going way up.
So, the dependency on poor foreign investments and all new wealth being tied to the banking industry finally led to the collapse of Iceland's 3 major banks in 2008. The losses totaled at 850 times Iceland's GDP, or $330,000 for every Icelandic person. The economic collapse in Iceland has many similarities to the economic crisis in the United States, happening around the same time and triggered by many similar socio-economic properties.
A once-in-a-lifetime day. A day of achievement for the whole USA. For on this day, General Motors is building its 50 millionth car. No one has ever come close to that before. So no wonder celebration is in the very air.
The United States has been the world's largest national economy since the 1920s. Domestic markets have surged following the pioneering of the automobile industry. This led to a boom in the economy, which fostered poor investments with the acquired wealth. The United States has also mirrored Iceland by outsourcing to foreign markets with car companies such as Toyota and Hyundai. The U.S. automotive industry has since struggled to remain competitive, which was evident with the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, the stimulus package. The social and financial characteristics of Americans, such as out-of-control debts in the financial market and the governments alike, reflect rising debts of individual Americans. Michael Lewis describes the U.S. economic problems as a problem of people taking what they can just because they can, without regard to the larger social consequences. When the United States housing bubble dropped in 2006 and 2007, the government was forced to allocate over $900 billion towards loans and rescues related to the housing market. America was in a recession. Perhaps where the United States and Icelandic financial fallouts differ is how they responded to their financial problems. The Icelandic people largely allowed its 3 major banks to fail, but the United States bailed out companies such as General Motors. Heading forward, things are looking up for both countries as they continue to develop fiscally responsible policy.
Probably the the single outstanding factor is our commitment to preserve the Icelandic welfare system through this and try to distribute the burden of the crisis as socially justly as possible.
While Iceland struggles with the krona and is considering switching to the euro currency, the United States is trying to change the consumer's saving mindset. Both countries have had economic problems, but only time will tell how well they will evade debt in the future. The one thing that is certain is that money will continue to be a driving force of human nature and identity.
Money.